A one and a two and a do. Okay. Hello, everyone. Look, you guys get to see me in game because we have lovely Wesley, our editor, filming live stream today because we're here for official business. And I'm joined by Lucas Martell, creator of Walkabout, CEO of My Coconut, and the man with the info. So we'll play Shangri-La, which is one of our courses that's going to soon be included in the base game, and answer any questions you guys have about the announcement we made yesterday, of which, if you haven't read it, you can go to mycoconut.com/upgrade to read more about it. And so yeah, fire away with any questions you have. And yeah, let's get started, I guess. Or if there's anything you'd like to say off the bat, Lucas.
No, I'm just kind of open to answering questions. I'm actually getting the Twitch stream pulled up on my end as well, so that
Gotcha.
I can also just sort of note if there's anything. But I'm actually having a hard time getting the chat working, so I'll just kind of let you lead the way here.
Okay. Yep. Oh, right. I'm silly. Why didn't I do that? I haven't played this course in a hot second.
Because we did some stuff to this course more recently. I've actually spent a little bit more time in Shangri-La lately. But yeah, there's a couple courses that I probably haven't played for maybe 2 or 3 years. We're always so focused on whatever the course is, or the next few courses that are coming up, that we rarely get the opportunity to go back and play the older ones. We go back and, we QA, we check them, we do a bunch of different stuff, but to actually go in and play, I've actually been trying to make a point to go in and actually just, whether it's with friends or, we do internal play sessions and everything, but just, to actually get back into some of the old ones on occasion. It even helps because sometimes you forget, sort of like, oh yeah, there was this really cool thing that we did that I wish that we had done more of. We should remember to do that on future courses. Just, it's nice to be able to go back, and it feels kind of like going home, especially some of these places that we spent, almost a year of our lives in some cases working through. So yeah.
Oop. Uh-oh. Let's see. Oop. Okay. And let's see. You're a little... Oh. Are we good?
There we go.
Am I having internet issues? Oh dear. Let's see. Alrighty. So
I gotta amp up my streamer energy. I'm so used to...
Well, you're very
doing
nose
different
down
things
typically.
Yeah. I usually tend to be pretty nose down. I guess I could even just riff if we're waiting on a couple of questions to come in a little bit, because I'd imagine that a lot of the folks that are watching the stream have probably been playing Walkabout for a little while. If there's anyone new, if there's anyone kind of on the newer side, welcome. But yeah, we've been. I feel like I've told this story a few times, but yeah, we're a bit of an anomaly in the VR game space, just because this started off as a solo project like almost 5 years ago, and then we've grown. We're now about 35 people that are all working on Walkabout full time. So it's definitely been a bit of a transition, and I come from the animation world, so there was been a lot of just sort of like learning games and how the games world works and everything. But yeah, I've actually been working on Walkabout now for 5.5 years, pretty much full time, or absolutely full time. There was even chipping away at it before then. So
let's see. We got a lot of folks saying positive things, or like, whatever. When's the next course coming? Sentiment, which has been really great.
Okay. Well, we're not announcing what that is, but I believe we also mentioned in the press release that the next course will be coming May 1st, along with this upgrade. So much of what we do on the development side of things, we tend to time things out with course releases. It's actually been nice to have that cadence of just like, every 6 to 8 weeks or so, we've got a new course that comes along, and that's when we're able to get in all of our upgrades. We're able to put in new content. We're able to upgrade older courses, as well as usually the new course. We've had a lot more stuff going into the game beyond just the new courses lately, which has been cool and exciting, and is definitely a new muscle that we are learning how to flex.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
Yeah,
So
you hit it
if we
straight.
ever do a coconut tournament, you can see from here how I'll be ranking against everyone, and then where Lucas is gonna lie.
I've been playing this game
Dear.
for a very long time.
Oh,
I
look,
mean,
that's
literally.
just
There you go.
wait.
You see, you just needed someone to give you the line.
See,
That's what
never
it was.
mind.
It's
I'm the
not that hard.
best. Okay.
Yeah. I
Woo,
actually
okay.
went over spring break. We took the kids to see some family in Tucson, and I went golfing, like real, like big golfing for the first time in probably maybe 7 or 8 years. And my putting was a lot better, even on sloped greens and everything. I was very
Mhm.
surprised that it seemed like some of the mini golf skills actually transitioned over. Sounds good.
Let's see. And I do want to acknowledge, sorry folks, if anything sounds a little choppy. I know me and Wesley are at the office right now, so let us know if it becomes an issue. Look at me! I'm good at the game now. Woo!
You're
Okay.
so much better than me. That's what I've
Ooh,
tried to do.
get it. Get wrecked, Lucas. It's not very often I can talk like
I actually
this.
like that there's so many people now who can really, literally beat me at my own game. Especially when I play with a bunch of the, folks from the Discord, like the super competitive players.
Yes,
Like they
yep.
absolutely just tear me
no.
apart. So, yeah.
Now I'm in the lead. Okay. Oh no. Nope.
But yeah, let's see. We were just talking that the next course is going to be coming out May 1st. I don't want to give away what it is, but we'll be announcing what that course is very, very soon. So I know I'm not going to spoil what it is yet. But yeah, there's a bunch of other things that are coming along with this. Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, we've been hitting a pretty good cadence. One of the other things that I could also mention, because a couple of people have been kind of speculating about timing of the next course and everything. One of the one of the other things that I can mention is that last year, I think, is when we really first kind of started hitting the cadence of every 6 weeks releasing a new course, which had been a goal of ours for a really long time. And internally, we've actually backed off of that just a little bit. And so now we're really trying to target every 7 to 8 weeks, just because it was really it was kind of killing us a little bit internally just to try to go at that pace. I think it's really good that we hit that because it kind of worked those muscles and got up to the point that we can do it. But it was just frantic, and it's one of those things that you could do it for a short period of time, but we don't have an off season. We've kind of equated a lot of the development on Walkabout Mini Golf to being kind of like doing a TV show a little bit, where you've got at any given time we know what the next sort of like 8-ish courses are, and so we're working on all of them. A couple are in development, a couple of them are actually getting modeled, a couple of them are getting sort of like some of the more tech and art pieces done. So at any given time, all those things are going kind of like a writer's room would be in TV, where you just have all those episodes in production. But the thing that TV does that we don't do is they have an off season. So they are neck deep in it for a while. They're in production for maybe 6 months or so, but then they actually go into a period where they kind of take, whether it's a summer off or whatever, there's sort of a downtime where you get a chance to breathe. And that's one thing that we've just found that it really hurts, and people have kind of gotten used to when we release courses. And if we don't release a course every 6 to 8 weeks, people start to feel it. They kind of, it feels like nothing new is happening. And so there's even a decent number of people who kind of use that as their, like, that's when they get together with maybe a friend or a family member every time a new course comes out. And so, we want to be able to kind of maintain that, but a big part of that is just balancing the cadence and the pace that we're releasing those courses, so that we're able to keep it up and put out awesome new, and all the courses are getting bigger and bigger as well, so they just take a little bit more time. But yeah, so for the folks who have been kind of curious, somewhere in that 7 to 8 week mark. Every once in a while there'll be one in the 6 week mark, but
gotta keep you guys on your toes. All right, we've got a few questions we can get to. Let's see. One, folks asking if you could just kind of essentially go over and sum up what the announcement yesterday was, just for anyone not in the know.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are basically we are doing what a lot of games have done, kind of like with like a game of the year sort of like idea, where we are taking we've got so many DLC courses that we are now taking some of those. So we're taking 6 courses specifically and folding those into the base game. So the price of the base game for new players is going to go up from $14.99 US to $24.99 US, which is actually still a really good deal. And sort of like essentially you're getting each of those each of those courses for like $1.60 or something like that. But that also just sort of is giving us a chance to kind of right side. We've gotten to the point that there's so many DLCs in the game that we were realizing that it's a little intimidating for people getting in. But also, all of the courses that were included with the game were the ones that had originally been done by either just me and like 2 or 3 members of the team. And so we kind of wanted also to feature many of the newer courses. So like Alfheim is one that's been super, super popular. It's a really, really gorgeous course. But it also just shows sort of like what we can do with, our full team now. Of that one probably had about 20 different artists working on that. So it helps for people who are new to the game to come in and see some of the newer content up front, because then they get a better sense of, oh, here's what the game is. One of the things I can also say is that we are taking many of those courses, the older courses that haven't been remastered. We're just moving those to a different page that just says classic. So it's just putting a couple of the older courses on the second page so that we can feature the new courses a little bit more prominently. And then along with that, we're also trying to do one course from each of the packs that we have. So Shangri-La is going to be representing Lost Cities. We've got Laser Lair that's going to be coming out as part of the Evil Layers. And then we also have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea from the Jules Verne pack. So hopefully also people can kind of get a sense of like, oh, here's kind of what each of these, different packs are like. And yeah, just get a chance to play some of the newer, latest, greatest stuff. Feel if I missed anything, feel free to let me know. But yeah, that's the gist of the big announcement. Oh, the other big thing is that anyone who buys the game before the price change, or if you've had the game, you'll be getting that update for free. So if you don't own any of those courses, they'll just unlock on May 1st, and you'll be able to play them. So we are recommending, and we do have something in game sort of mentioning to people like, hey, you might not want to buy those. I will also say, though, that even with this price change, the cost of the hole-in-one bundle stays the same. So even if you're watching this and you haven't actually bought the game yet, feel free to just go ahead and get the hole-in-one bundle. It's going to be the same price as it will be in another few weeks. But yeah, we're trying to keep the price of that hole-in-one bundle accessible, because it does have every single course that's currently in the game. So yeah, no worries about sort of like if you're wanting to get it anyways, it'll end up being the same bottom line price for that. So
awesome. Thank you for summing that up for everyone.
I don't know if that was summarizing as much as long-winded, just sort of like rehashing the entire thing, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good to kind of share, what our reasoning is, and yeah, luckily everyone's been, for the most part, incredibly positive about it, and understanding of, and that understanding that makes sense for us, and oh dear. So yeah, so if anyone has questions based off that, let's see. If anyone, let's see, Tree Farmer Charlie, I see you mentioning some issues playing, which I believe you're on our Discord. So if you haven't already, make sure you open up a support ticket there regarding that. Oh, nope. No. Okay. Gentle. Okay. Nope. All right. Let's see. Alrighty. But yeah. So we super appreciate you guys. Let's see. Do we have a new intern hiding lost balls? I think we're seeing a lot of folks have, obviously some people want it more difficult and some want it more easy, but with the addition of more activities in game, we'll like continue refining the lost ball difficulty just so no one, it's a fun part of the game when you don't want folks getting frustrated.
There's also something that we have discovered with lost balls is that honestly the thing that ends up defining how difficult the lost balls are is often the size and shape of the course. So I would imagine that Olympus was probably pretty hard just because Olympus itself is so big, whereas with a course like this, the holes are much closer together, so you only have a certain number of places that it can be. But yeah, we do sort of go through and we kind of try to dial that in, but yeah, some people, like, it's not exactly by design, but it just kind of happens naturally that some courses are much harder than others just based off of the layout and shape of the course. I think that Upside Town was particularly challenging too, just because you also had, as opposed to it just being sort of like on the floor, but it could be, they could be hiding on the walls or on the ceiling in a different way. So you had to look up and around a lot more than just covering the ground portions of it as well. So yeah, those are some of the things that kind of go into the lost balls that kind of changed them quite a bit based on the difficulty. Mars was another one that was super fun because there were all those plants that really gave you a lot of places the ball could be hiding under. So yeah, it just kind of depends on the course. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta bring it back. There's been a slump.
I could also just riff a little bit on some of the activities stuff that folks have been. You mentioned that a couple of minutes ago. Folks have been noticing that we've been doing a lot under the. There's some stuff under the shack. I don't want to give away exactly what that is, but if you haven't been down there, check out Under the Shack. There's some interesting stuff down there. We've also got slingshots and a couple of other things that have been kind of starting to make their way into the game. That's been super fun. That's been something that we wanted to do for a while because we realized, a while ago actually that, we've been spending all the time building these worlds, but there's so much that we can do inside these worlds beyond just mini golf. And like, there are a lot of times that I want to go kind of hang out in a cool place, but it's really nice to be able to do just a different activity or have a different experience that sort of makes it nice shot.
Yay!
That maybe gives you a different perspective on the world, or just sort of lets you experience the same world in a different way. So that's been something that we actually, this must have been about 2 years ago that we actually had started sort of like as part of the process of rewriting a lot of the game. So I mentioned earlier that this game was originally a solo project, which meant that I had coded everything with, frankly, just kind of spaghetti code. I had done what I needed to do to make mini golf work exactly like it needed to work, but it didn't allow us to do different game modes or any different scoring systems or anything other than just like play mini golf in this very, very one specific way. So one of the things that we've spent a lot of time over the last, couple of years doing is we've pretty much rewritten almost every single part of the game. And part of that is so that we can do more stuff like game modes. That race mode is super, super fun. Being able to do match play was a big part of that. But all of those systems were upgraded, as well as also just allowing now our team to work on it, because when you've got spaghetti code, you change one sort of thing in one place and it breaks something that you didn't expect. So you kind of have to break stuff apart a little bit more. And really just sort of like work on the architecture so that it's something that a team of people like we now have working on it are able to work on it together. But anyways, going back to activities, the nice thing that has also kind of come along with that is that it's made it so much easier and honestly very, very quick to add new things like slingshots and all those other things. So we are continuing to still work on core elements of the game. I know people have a lot of different ideas of things that they would love to see in the game. I don't want to specifically sort of say every single thing that we're working on, but chances are, if you're thinking about it, it's somewhere on the roadmap. Because we also want to improve a lot of the core game stuff. But the flip side of that is also that whenever you're sort of like changing something kind of fundamental to the game, it's a lot harder because you have to go in, and it's kind of more like performing open heart surgery. Whereas now with this more extensible architecture, adding things onto it is almost more like, it's almost more like going to the salon and getting a hair color. It's very, very easy to do, and it's non-invasive as opposed to some of those. There's got to be a better metaphor, but I'm going to stick with that one for now.
So no, Lucas gets highlights all the time. He knows.
Yeah, I'm frosty tips, just like it's the early aughts all over again. But yeah, so we're going to be continuing to add more activities and all that. And the other thing that's also really kind of changed over the last couple of years, where it used to be that pretty much the entire company was devoted to the ongoing DLCs, and that it was just sort of like getting the courses out, building out the systems that we needed to support each course. Whereas now we are starting to look at some of that larger architecture. We now actually have one or two people on the team who are exclusively focused not on any of the new courses, but it is more of the activity stuff. So they're doing things like grip to puppet and slingshot and a bunch of the other things that you're seeing down there in employee mode. So it's always a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, speaking on grip to puppet, we have Green Wonder in here bringing up the fact that right now it's not quite working properly on PC VR, but the team is aware of it, and we are working on solution for that.
Yeah.
Yes. So soon you will also be able to have a little puppet talking.
Yep.
Yep. So sorry about the delay in that, but sorry. Go on, Lucas.
Oh no, totally. Yeah. All of that stuff. Yeah, that's also one of the other fun things about trying to bring features to all the different headsets and every different permutation. PC VR is extra fun, especially when you start getting into like the Vive controllers, which they operate by their own set of rules, and everything on those things is unique and custom and has to be handled in a very bespoke way. Just wrapping up what I was starting to say before is that we actually have people on the team focusing on each different area. So we're trying to balance everything and work on all of the things kind of all at once, which is definitely a little bit of a change of pace for us. But it also means that sort of like just because someone's working on one thing doesn't mean we're not also working on something on one of the other things. Just different things. Some things happen very quickly. Some things take a little bit longer. What were you starting to say, Sarah?
I was gonna say, someone asked whose idea it was for the grip to puppet. That was you, right? Because we've done April Fool's things for several years now.
I don't remember exactly. So it was a combination of me, Colby, and David, and I remember we were at Meta Connect, and I don't remember how it came up, but after Meta Connect, we were just talking about little things that we could do, and we were just sort of like brainstorming ideas. And I think April Fool's came up, and we were just riffing, and someone said the word grip to puppet, and that's when it sort of clicked and stuck. So it was some combination of all three of us that sort of like kind of came up with it. But it was one of those things that we actually thought of that over a year and a half ago. We were going to try to get it in for last year. But that's actually one of the other the little architecture things where we could have done it last year, but it would have required kind of custom doing a whole bunch of stuff and all these one-off things. Whereas now we kind of have some systems under the hood that allow you to sort of change your putter on the fly, that you can change all of these different things are now sort of fully supported by a system. So once we had that system in place, doing the actual grip to puppet was a really, really quick thing to do. We wanted to wait until the architecture was in place. So we're glad that a lot of people have really embraced it, because we love this guy. I love seeing all of the different names that people have come up. I think Socrates was one of the was one of the favorites. I'm trying to remember a couple of the other names that I've heard that people have named their own puppets. So that wasn't very good.
My chance. All right.
But Grip to Puppet was a very just a fun thing that we wanted to do. One of my other favorite parts of it too is that if you go up into I guess I can't do it because when you're in practice mode, you can pick up a ball from behind and make them spit it out. I've seen some people find that on streams and stuff.
Yes. So if you stream Walkabout, the creator of the game could be watching at any time.
We love watching streams, that especially like the day that we release a new course is always so fun because it's kind of like going to the premiere at a movie. You kind of get a chance to see people react in real time, and a lot of times, we're testing things out, but we've been so close to it often for so long, usually a year or a little bit more, that the shine of it is kind of worn off. And sometimes we have some ideas about a course that kind of get baked in very early on in the process, and then it just kind of becomes part of it, and we kind of almost forget about it until people in the outside world sort of comment on it. It's like, oh yeah, that was part of the original design. We just haven't really talked about it because it's just kind of been intrinsic to it for the last year that we've been working on it. So yeah, really love seeing the especially the launch day live streams of those. It's a blast for everybody on the team.
Let's see. We get, and I see this a lot just over time ever since we did the Labyrinth course and Avatar packs, but folks ask me if I'll ever do like a Fraggle Rock or Dark Crystal course, which right now, we're trying to with the improved pacing, IP courses definitely are more demanding in a lot of ways. So I think if you want to speak on just kind of focusing on original stuff right now. We're actually entertaining the possibility of some other licensed courses. So far, I guess we have 5. It would be the courses would be Labyrinth, Mist, Meow Wolf, Wallace and Gromit, and Elvis. Those courses always seem to take about twice the effort, usually because there is something that is very specific about it. Like Wallace and Gromit, the characters, the animation in that really had to be spot on. There's also some elements of just working with an outside partner that they have sort of like some approval, and it means that you kind of have to go slower because you need to bring them along for the ride. You have to show them as you're going, and there's some things that you can't just get in and make the decision on and just do, and sometimes you also have to go back and hit or make some tweaks because they're like, oh yeah, he would never do that. He would do this with his hand instead of something else. So yeah, the licensed courses always take about double the effort. But yeah, we are entertaining a couple of other new ones right now. Don't have anything to announce on that yet, but yeah, we love doing the licensed courses, and we're getting back to them before too long here. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a little stretch of originals for a while we focus on getting everything smooth. And like I said, 5 years in, we're really kind of becoming very conscious of just how much work we're putting on our team and trying to make sure that we don't burn them out by crunching. So Yep.
There's still a couple different areas that always seem to get a little crunchy. So hopefully anyone on the team who's watching who is feeling a little crunchy, forgive me. We're trying to make it better. There's trying to make it as nice and smooth and predictable as possible. But you also, if you're not taking a couple of chances and if you're not trying something new, then you're kind of, ooh, nice. Ooh.
Dang it. Freaking bell.
Yeah.
Oh wait, okay.
But yeah, if you're not taking risks and you're not doing something new, it's you run the risk of getting a little bit stale. So yeah, we're always pushing it. That was weak. Came out of that sand a little harder than I thought.
I have such incredibly distinct memories of this course because after I first started working here, me, my sister, and brother played it, and my brother was just like, did you have to play the game before you got hired? And I was like, now they need people not good to test too. And yeah, it was a fun time. So good. Yes.
I would say that's actually probably one of the more difficult aspects of the game dev for us is that we want it to be fun, but we also want it to be, a little bit challenging. And I think that finding that balance is always the hardest thing about doing the courses, of just making sure that it's something that it's still accessible, that no one's going to just rage quit, or maybe 1% of the people are going to rage quit. But there's a really, really fine balance. We spend a lot of time just like coming up with the designs, but then also just tweaking and modifying them a little bit to make sure that they're as fun as possible. So
let's see. Well, you crushed it.
You had those two holes where you started off so strong, and I thought that that would have been
for 1 second.
That would have been embarrassing for me. So
okay. I haven't done the slingshots on this course yet. I love the the designs. It's fun to see.
Oh yeah, Jeremy has been doing all of the designs on the actual the actual targets and everything. Like I mentioned before, this is something that we were doing in Welcome Island. We actually thought about doing like the full driving range, and who knows, maybe if there's some demand, we'll do that. But it is a lot harder to just sort of like come up with targets. And there's something about the slingshots that are just, I've seen a lot of people comment about how they love to, like if they're waiting on someone, or like someone has to, go to the bathroom while they're playing a game. If it's a course that happens to have a slingshot, it's really nice to be able to, at the end of the game, you don't want to necessarily go down or maybe you don't want to play another 18. It's just a place that you can go, and even if you're not, doing anything, you can still just sort of like hang out. I also really love how they give you a different view of the environment. We try to put the slingshot locations always in a different place that just kind of gives you a new perspective that you wouldn't normally get, and often it's a really nice view of the course that's kind of just different than you get from normal gameplay. So
yeah, people just like like you guys do so much work making these worlds. The more like reasons to be in them, the better. So I'm certainly not a competitive player, so I'm very much a social player. And the people I'm playing with don't play as often, so they definitely get distracted. So things like this are fun to, while they're distracted, do.
I find that this is kind of like putting, that this is also kind of one of those things that, at least for me, maybe I've just done it more, but I feel like I can be kind of talking like even while I'm shooting things. It's kind of a simple, kind of a bit of a mindless thing that it doesn't seem to distract me too much while I'm trying to do it. I wasn't actually, but yeah. I know one of the other things that we would love to do, and we're playing around with some ideas, but ways of making the slingshot something you could actually do is like a co-op thing. We've got some ideas. I will say that's a ways off, but I think that's one of the other things that'll make it super fun for people if you're able to hop in and actually work as a team or work against each other to play more directly. But yeah, there's a bunch of ideas like that we're excited to eventually, at some point, hopefully fold into the game.
Shane says the nice thing is when you're designing the holes, you can rage quit and then change it. Shane, who was on our stream last week, chiming in since he helps out with hole design stuff. Yeah, because I guess let's see. Some coconuts are playing it from a more player perspective, since they're like, I'm not involved with developing it, but I guess for you guys, it's probably an incredibly different play experience, since you're just playing for play testing or playing to get the feel for it.
We do a mix of stuff. Like at the beginning, there's usually just a few of us that are more on the design side of things that tend to really, really focus on gameplay. And we tend to do, like when I'm designing some of the gameplay stuff, I tend to, do all of the holes a couple of different times and tweak them a little bit. And then I put in front of maybe like one other person. Henning is usually the other big gameplay focused person. But I'll usually have him play, and then he'll usually find some stuff that I wouldn't notice because I'm just too close to it. I'll fix those up, and then we'll do an actual play test with the wider team, which inevitably, that's also where you start to get a decent number of the folks on the team who don't play very often, which is actually great. And we've even kind of encouraged people to, like, don't feel like you need to spend time to get good at the game, because we really do have a nice cross-section of every type of player on the team. And so, yeah, when we do those play tests, we get a really wide swath of... Yeah. If some people are saying it's too hard and some people are saying it's too easy, that's usually where you want to be. So, but again, not annoying. Hopefully, just fun.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's kind of the process that we go through, and then eventually we open it up to each time a few more, a broader group of people plays it, as we're getting it dialed in.
Yeah, I know. Yes, nice words from Green Wonder. Thank you all for what you do. Sarah, Lucas, and Coconuts in chat, which there's a lot of them. Digging it. Walkabout is definitely one of the best VR games and experiences. Yeah, I know. It's just so lovely, and the team enjoys making it, and as someone doing a lot of the community management, having such a lovely product and people I work with and people who play the game has made this job really awesome, best job ever. So everyone just working together, being great, rules. There's my super sophisticated sentiment.
Yeah, and everyone on the team, it's also been great to just sort of like be able to sort of take time to polish. A lot of times when you're working on a game or a movie or something like that, it feels like right when you get about to the point where everyone on the team really knows what they're doing and they're gelling and they're kind of working together and everyone kind of knows what each other is best at, that's usually when you end up finishing the game or the movie, and then it's on to the next one. It's a whole new set of problems or something completely different, sort of like the rules change underneath you. And that's been one of the nice things about this one, is that I feel like the whole team has really gotten to a point where we've just gelled, and we really sort of are able to kind of even cast certain things that we just know that, whether it's a tech project, we just know that, oh yeah, that Liz is really good at this sort of thing, or Scott's great at this sort of thing. So let's actually make sure that he gets the opportunity to do that. On the art side, it's honestly sort of like even more. Everyone kind of has different specialties, and we're able to really cater. Sometimes there's even courses that we do because we know that there's someone on the team who is great at this one particular thing, and so we'll make some design decisions that are really catered to that, to the individuals that are on the team. So, yeah, it's nice. Super fun to.
Anyone has any more questions for Lucas? Well, we have the pleasure of having him here. Fire away in chat. In the meantime, I'll just call out a few questions that I saw that are just kind of off topic. But as we just continue like polishing Pocket Edition and this and that, we do still get, folks who are showing or expressing interest in having it on Android. So I don't know if you want to talk about or address that a bit, Lucas.
Yeah,
just so we have a more official.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk about it. That unfortunately, this is probably going to be a half answer. We would love to be on every platform that we can possibly be on. I will say that one of the things that we also have to balance, though, is that because the entire, we have one development team that is doing everything, and we do updates so often that every time we add a platform, it means that it slows down the broader course production. That's actually one of the other reasons that we've had to go to 7 to 8 courses, or 7 to 8 weeks between courses, just because like the amount of time it takes to QA everything and to run it through and do all the builds for every single platform and do all the storefronts. It is a major process just to release on all those platforms simultaneously. And even then, people have probably seen that even then sometimes there's issues where one of the storefronts isn't behaving like it's supposed to, and a release ends up getting delayed. So we want to come to as many platforms as possible. Android is definitely on the list of something that we want to go to. We just we have a capacity that we have to make sure that we don't sort of like blow past, because every time we add one more platform, that's another thing that we have to make sure that we're able to support, and that that we're able to keep doing it long term. So I realize that's kind of a half answer, but yeah, we want to do Android as well. It's just a matter of time, and I can't even say exactly how long it's going to take to get over to Android. But yeah, it's on our list.
Awesome. Cool. Let's see. Path, you're asking if there's a skip option during regular mode for folks stepping away. I will say we do have currently and this is a newer edition, but we have the forfeit hole option. So if you do need to step away for like a hole, you can, do that, and then the rest of the folks in your group can continue playing while you step away for a second. In case you weren't aware of that.
Actually, there's one other trick to that as well that I believe. I guess I haven't tested this because I am mostly playing on Quest, but I know it also used to work that if you just sleep the headset, if you just tap the one button that sort of just like temporarily powers it off, that will turn off your Wi-Fi, which will also pull you out of the room. But the rejoin feature, we've been really cautious to make sure that all is working. So as soon as it reconnects to Wi-Fi, it'll log you back in, and it'll just let you rejoin the match pretty much instantly. And pick up right where you left off, and so that's one way that you can kind of get around that. But yeah, that's also one of those examples of those core features that we'd love to add in as a way to do that without having to kind of hit something on the headset that it automatically detect if someone has stepped away and can give you the option of just continuing on until they resume.
Nice, cool. All right. I guess, let's see. I'll say last thing is some folks asking about implementing some kind of like mixed reality AR elements to Walkabout. I guess what are we thinking in that regard, or reasoning for not?
It's definitely something I would also say that is on our wish list of things to do. The one reason that we kind of haven't prioritized that yet is only because Walkabout is such a social game, and it's so much about the environment that you're in that you kind of lose some of that. And I think that we could make an absolutely great mixed reality putting experience that you could do in your living room. That would be cool. However, it also means that you're not sharing the same space with anyone that you're playing with, and that it's very, very difficult to sync those up. You could maybe say like, oh, you've got to have like a 3 meter by 3 meter square in order to do this. But even then, it's not. It doesn't feel quite very Walkabout. So that's a feature that again we'd love to do, and it is quite possible that we will implement that at some point. But yeah, at the moment, the worlds and bringing new courses is such the focus. And I know I've also talked a little bit about some of those other things like activities and a bunch of the infrastructure things that we have been polishing over these last couple of years. But still, I would say that probably about 80% of the team is focused on the new course stuff. So there is still only about 20% that we have that is more of that architecture and the other extra things. So there's only a limited amount that we can sort of pull away, or we would even have to slow down more on the course production, which we don't want to do. So yeah, everything, it just takes time. Development takes time.
Sweet. Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I guess if you have any parting remarks or inspiring quotes, let us know. And
let me just whip up a really an inspiring quote. But yeah, no, just thanks to everybody for playing, and for those of you for tuning in. We're having a blast doing this, and we just want to keep making more of these courses and improving the game forever. So yeah, thanks for your support, and stick with us. Thanks.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you for joining us on our Walkabout Wednesday this week, Lucas.
Yeah.
And
thanks for hosting.
Yeah, anyone watching, if you know someone who didn't get a chance to catch this, you can always direct them to the VOD so that they can watch this and see if, any concerns or questions they had were addressed here. I would suggest that. And hold on. What? Oh yes, we'll post the video to YouTube as well. So if you're more comfortable with that platform, we'll do that there as well. All right, thanks for joining us, Lucas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang back just so we can wrap it up here, but
Awesome.
I'm sure we'll see you
Yeah.
again on stream.
I gotta get back to making stuff.
Busy
so,
guy
yep,
here.
Thanks everybody.
Got a lot of stuff to do. Bye.
Thanks everybody. Bye.
Wave with my slingshot. All right. Okay, folks. Thank you everyone who came. I know this is different than the normal format, but just since everyone came here to listen, and hopefully you guys go on and kind of share what Lucas talked about today. If you see anyone with questions about all the stuff we talked about, I just want to thank you guys by doing a little giveaway here at the end. So let me see if I can do that. So normally I'm having a stream, so look at me having flexibility to do things while in game. So let me see if I can't get that going here. And then we can wrap it up and raid someone who's also a Walkabout fan. Okay, we'll see if this works. So with the giveaway, let's see, start it. So, okay, and then let me, okay, go with the key giveaway. Nope, there we go. Okay. Sorry, first I gotta figure out what's up with this. Okay, so do key join, folks. Sorry about that. Let me pin the right one to the top of. Hold on. Did it go? Yeah. So key join. Alrighty. Yeah. So anyone who's not, familiar, hasn't been here before, you do the exclamation mark key join, and then you enter for the chance to be picked. For whoever gets picked will then get to select a DLC that's currently out that they would like as their prize, and it can be any of the platforms, and maybe you already have all the courses. If that's the case, then maybe you have a friend that you would love to gift a key to. So be sure to try that out. Give it a minute so people can get in there. It's gonna be a big old giveaway, so luck with you, folks. And let's take a minute to thank Wesley, the man behind the camera, who I was lucky to have him help me out this week so that I could focus on. So you guys know, with my attention span, it's a real struggle sometimes. So big help from Wesley. Let's see. Yes, very good. Yes, right? You guys are used to my shoddy camera work. We got a professional behind the lens right now. Is the camera from the iOS version? No, Wesley is streaming from the Rift build right now. And yeah, Wesley, I don't know if you want to. Oh no, you don't have your headset on. He's using his fancy setup where it's like not on his head and it's on this little tripod. But yeah. Okay, I will get, let's see, I'm going to close the giveaway. And then, yeah, I know. It's like, dang, oh no, are we going to go back to Sarah running this thing again? But Wesley's a busy guy. Okay, let's do 2 key giveaways here. So here's the first winner. We've got Spider Monkey, very nice, one of our regular viewers here. And then who's gonna be the second one? Moment of truth. Nope, I didn't press that right. Nope. And second, Mike who I be. Congrats. Okay, so yeah, so to grab your key, you can either DM here on Twitch to the channel we're streaming from, hit us up on any of our social medias. I'm the one who's checking and responding to those DMs, or you can find me as Coconut Sarah on Discord, and just let me know and what course you would like and for what platform. And this is for release courses. So, Oh, that's right. Okay, that's a good point. Thank you, Wesley. Right, we have May 1st, we have several courses coming to be included in the base game, so highly recommend picking one that isn't then going to be in there, which is Shangri-La, Alfame. I'm trying to remember these off the. Is it 20,000 Leagues Under the Sweetopia in Upside Town? Yep. Okay, so those are the ones I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. So yeah, I would claim one that is not those, since you'll soon have those if you don't already. Alrighty, sweet, cool. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here, everyone. Actually, I guess I can just pick up channel to raid now. So for anyone not familiar with Twitch, we like to raid so that either someone currently streaming Walkabout or someone who has and does. That way we can just kind of, you know, share the Walkabout fun and, you know, support our content creators. Let's see. Okay, we've got Foxy Fire from one of our endorsed groups, Walkabout Wonderland, which is going to be primarily German. Oh, sorry, no, I look like I'm just staring up at the sky. It's a German-speaking group and the stream, but you know, right? Walkabout mini golf, universal, no translation for watching people good at golf. So that's who we'll be rating here. So make sure you know, you can use fun little emotes. Let them know there, and then yes. Oh right. I'm trying to think. Let me do it from. I was gonna say. Let me do it here. Okay. Did that work? Oh, nope. Nope. Thank you. Please. Yep. Okay. Streams, right? We seem professional. No, I'm bringing the normal energy here at the last second of, you know, VR streaming. Be weird. Okay, raid setups. So, yeah, in a few seconds here we'll raid. Be sure to be nice and all that stuff. And yeah, we'll as always, for anyone new, every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Time. Me, Sarah, I host the stream where sometimes we do play with viewers, where we have like a big room and play, or you know, lots of guests like we did today. So if you aren't already watching that, you should totally come by, because every week we do the key giveaway like we did today. So I hope to see you guys next week. And on that note, we are going to raid now. So let's see.